Welcome to Home on the RNG Side Quest Electric.
We kind of have a running side quest topic. I don't know why, because it's not where Russ and I
telling each other to play a game that the other one has never played before.
That is not a JRPG.
That is not a JRPG.
Right. We started with Clock Tower. We've done Lost Vikings 2. We've gone back and
Adventures of Lolo.
Adventures of Lolo. There have been a couple. There was one time I said Pikmin 3, and then we didn't do Pikmin 3, and instead we did something different. But the last game I challenged, I don't know why I keep... because we did...
It's not as if we're like telling the other one to play the worst game in history.
No, we're sharing games that we love.
We're sharing good games.
So the last one Russ asked me to play was Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom, which was a light RPG, heavy adventure game mix. I've done a couple of side quests called Jeff's Adventuring Academy. You guys don't know this. Chris is here. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Where I talk about adventure games by myself, because, we always need side quest material. JRPGs are not my first love. My first love in video games is point-and-click adventure games, or the text parser adventure games. Sierra, LucasArts, Legend.
We played Maniac Mansion for this already.
We did do Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do Maniac Mansion, but we've done it.
We did Maniac Mansion. These are my first love. They don't make them near as much as they used to. You still one comes out every now and again, but it's usually a boutique by a particular person who wants to reinvent the genre or revisit the genre. I love point-and-click adventure games, especially those with a little bit of comedy or a really good story, and most of them have one or the other. And so I told Russ to play my favorite point-and-click adventure game, what I would argue is the best point-and-click adventure game, Gabriel Knight: Sins of the Fathers, which is the first Gabriel Knight game.
How many are there total?
There are 3.
There are only 3.
There are hints of a fourth one in 3. So in 3 you have Grace has taken the Schottenjäger library and digitized it all, so you can search it in a little console. And if you search for GK4, Gabriel Knight 4, it pulls up the entry on ghosts. So that's your little hint that the fourth one... And Jane Jensen, who created the series, has said multiple times what her idea of the fourth one would be, and the third one sets up a fourth one, but it has never happened because adventure games died.
Yeah. Now, this was created by a woman named Jane Jensen.
Jane Jensen is the creator of this series.
Well, now I have to revisit my whole opinion on it. So,
Jane Jensen now mostly writes gay male erotica fiction under a pen name.
Well, why didn't you tell me all of this to begin with?
Should have led with this.
Oh my God.
And in the second game, it's not clear, but she, as the creator, is very clear. Gabriel Knight is bisexual in the second game because he has a threesome with a guy and a girl. Now, the game is open to...
a threesome with a guy and a girl in the second game?
The game is open to interpretation when you play it. It could be the guy just like, here, go have fun with this girl. Or it could be, hey, have fun with us. It's kind of presented so either interpretation works. Jane Jensen has basically said it's a threesome, meaning that Gabriel is either pan or bi.
Well, now I just like this game all around. Spoilers.
We haven't even started talking about the first game at all. We're talking about the series. Recently, her husband, who is the composer for the series, although I don't think they started that way, he has had 2 successful Kickstarters kickstarting albums of Gabriel Knight-style music. There's a feeling, like a whisper, a rumor that he's actually writing the soundtrack for a 4th game. Because...
how long ago did the third one come out?
99.
Oh, God, okay.
So recently the Activision merger has been happening with Microsoft. And Activision currently owns the rights to Gabriel Knight and won't do anything with them. But Microsoft has basically said, I would love to do something with these Sierra properties and other things. So there's a feeling in the air that nobody's talking about it, but there is actually a possibility of a fourth one.
Okay.
But we're here to talk about the first one, although I could talk about the second and third one. Don't play the third one. It's got an amazing story.
Okay.
It is painfully difficult to play and has one of the worst puzzles in adventure game history in it. Don't play the third one.
Well, thank God you told me, because I was loading it up right now.
So, for those listening at home, the first Gabriel Knight game, the setup is in New Orleans in the early 90s. Gabriel Knight is a man who is a very mediocre fiction writer who owns and lives in a rare used bookstore with his assistant who runs the store, Grace Nakamura.
Voiced by
Leah Remini.
Leah Remini, a very young pre-King of Queens, but post-Living Dolls Leah Remini.
And who voices Gabriel Knight?
Oh, somebody. Mark Hamill, right?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, excuse me.
Tim Curry doing the most ridiculous, egregious Louisiana accent you've ever heard in your life. And his best friend is Detective Mosley, played by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And one of the antagonists is voiced by Michael Dorn.
One of my favorite bad Tim Curry accents is the one he did in Loaded Weapon 1, which is a National Lampoon movie making fun of Lethal Weapon. And that's the one where he famously is dressed up like a Girl Scout. Wilderness girls. And yeah, it's one of those great things where it's like his character's accent is so bad and thick that like other characters can't understand what he's actually asking.
I should say I'm talking about the original Gabriel Knight one. They did a remaster, but they had lost the the audio files were not good quality that they had from the recording, so they had to get new voice actors, and they could not afford the all-star cast of the original. So we are talking about the original has Tim Curry, Mark Hamill. The remake, they changed some of the puzzles around, which is nice when you remake an adventure game, but it's also a different voice cast, and the look is smoother, but I kind of like the jankier, pixelated look.
I do like. I really liked the way it looked. I like there's nostalgia that I have for that look.
Just shout outs in general to Jaggy Pixels.
Yes,
absolutely.
My God, yes.
So Gabriel's best friend is a detective, and there is a string of voodoo murders happening in New Orleans, and Gabriel decides he wants to find out as much as he can about them to use it as fodder for his next mediocre book. And that begins him unraveling this mystery and discovering it has ties to his family. He doesn't know anything about his family history, and as he discovers that, we'll get into it in a little bit, but it turns out to be this huge mystery and supernatural elements that I very much love. In fact, the sequence of the games is fun because the first game is like, I'm researching voodoo for this book. Voodoo's not real. And then as the game goes on, oh, voodoo's real. Got it. Okay. Second game, people come to his castle because now he has one. A lot happens in the first game. And they're like, hey, my niece has been attacked and dragged away by a werewolf. And he's like, there's no such thing as werewolves. Werewolves aren't real. I'll investigate this. Sure, that's my job, I guess. But there's no such thing. Oh, shit, there's werewolves. Werewolves are real. Okay, got it. Third game, a deposed French prince comes to his castle. Again, now he has a castle. And basically says, my family has been tormented by night visitors for generations. And he describes vampires. He basically says, vampires have been haunting my family for generations. And Gabriel's like, vampires, got it, let's do this. There are no such things as vampires, it turns out.
I was about to say he's Dana Scully taking 200 episodes to get that aliens are real, but the vampires actually are real.
Yeah, I love that twist. He's like,
That's
vampires,
great.
I'm on board. No vampires. So that's the basic setup to Gabriel Knight 1. I said I like comedy in my games. There is not a lot of... There's some lightheartedness and some joke, but it is not a comedic game. It is dark. Mm-hmm. It is a supernatural thriller mystery.
Yeah.
Russ, what did you think?
I have to revisit my whole opinion now that I know a woman named Jane Jensen created this, because overall I really did like it. I love the jaggy pixels, so I love the pixel art. The story... Yes, very interesting. I would have preferred maybe a black character looking into voodoo, but it was 1992 or whatever.
Black guy's got to be on the other side.
And well, it just, I don't know. And then Leah Remini voicing a Japanese woman, just a lot of things that don't land quite as good in 2025.
That was an odd choice.
Yeah, I mean, to have Leah Remini, who clearly has like a New York accent.
At least she didn't do a Japanese accent.
Well, yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. And Grace was my favorite character.
Yeah, the two of them, I love. So Gabriel and Grace are in all three games. Detective Mosley's only in 1 and 3. Gabriel and Grace are in all three, and they're a team, right? She's mostly the researcher, and he's the action guy. But Grace is the more competent of the two of them by a significant margin. Grace should be the Schottenjäger instead of Gabriel, but nope.
It's like it's how Penny and the Brain are really solving all of the mysteries, and Inspector Gadget just does the wacky stuff. Yeah, I did actually like Grace.
So you mentioned you had an issue with Gabriel's character.
Yes. Well, now that I know it was written by a woman, I don't even know anymore.
Gabriel is initially presented as quite the womanizer.
Yeah, he is quite the womanizer. And like one of your first dialogue tree options is to like hit on Grace.
Your assistant that you pay.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just feel like I just kept feeling like every dialogue tree I encountered was like, there's that one part where you're like in the police station and the female cop walks in and it's like, oh, honey, let me take a picture with you.
If you climb up the ladder in the bookstore, Grace yells at you for trying to look down her shirt.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that was really annoying to me. I don't know why Jane Jensen wrote that, but
to set up his redemption.
Well, sure.
Because Gabriel is not, when the series starts, Gabriel is not a hero. He is not an adventurer. He is not a mystery solver. He is a mediocre author. End of story. But as he's investigating this series of voodoo murders where it turns out voodoo is real, Gabriel also learns about his family history because it turns out his family are what are called Schottenjägers, shadow hunters. They have been tasked, and in the third game you learn who they've been tasked by, and it's a little ridiculous, and I'm not going to talk about it. They have been tasked with protecting humanity from the creatures that hunt them from the shadows. So voodoo, werewolves, vampires, these sorts of witches are mentioned in a spin-off comic book that happened. Ghosts. But Gabriel's grandfather, wanted no part of this family business and instead fled Germany, their native land, and moved to America, changed his name from Ritter, which is German for night, to Knight, and married a woman and raised a family, and died young after having a series of nightmares, died mysteriously. And then Gabriel's father started having nightmares in his early 30s and died mysteriously. And when the game starts, Gabriel's in his early 30s and the nightmares start. And so he feels like his life is coming short. But he doesn't know anything about this Schottenjäger nonsense because the grandfather did not bring any of that information with them. So he discovers that his family has a job to do. And this particular voodoo cult actually has the Ritter family talisman, the Schottenjäger talisman, in their possession because there's old history with this cult between him and his family.
Yeah. And I will say, I really am revisiting everything I thought about this game because if he's supposed to be like an asshole, when it starts, and then he redeems himself, I can see that. I can
There are two things I love about Gabriel as a character. So the first is he discovers this whole Schottenjäger thing, this family obligation. And at no point in 3 games does he do, why me, I never asked for this. Gabriel's response to finding out that his family is destined to hunt and kill monsters to protect humanity is to go, well, all right, I guess that's what I'm doing. I have no training, no qualifications, but sure, let's do it. Gabriel's response to problems is not to research the issue and strategize and come up with a solution. his solution, or he deals with problems by just going straight into the middle of them and assuming he will find a way out.
Sure.
And if it wasn't for grace, sometimes he would not make it. The most perfect example is in the first game, the ceremony in the swamp. He finds out the voodoo cult is meeting in the swamp, throws on a mask and has Grace draw a fake tattoo on him to disguise him, and he just goes to this voodoo meeting with no plan. He doesn't know how he's going to get out of it. He doesn't even know what he's going to encounter when he gets there. He doesn't have any backup. He just goes. And it just assumes he'll find his way out of it. And I love that.
Yeah.
But to your point about him being an asshole and a womanizer, when he finds out about this whole Schottenjäger thing and he's finally convinced to spend the money, he actually uses the credit card of Mosley, who he thinks is dead at the time, to buy a ticket to Germany. He gets there and his uncle, the current Schottenjäger, is gone on an adventure to try and find the talisman. So Gabriel has to find out where he went. He has to catch up with his uncle, but as not being a Schottenjäger, he doesn't have access to any of their resources. He can't get into the library, nothing. So he has to figure out how to go through the Schottenjäger ritual by himself. He has to that's one of the puzzles in the game, is figuring out how to duplicate this ritual to become one. And so you figure it out. You go through all this stuff, washing your hands and dripping some blood in the thing, and blah, blah, and you wait for something to happen. And then suddenly there's this roaring sound as the maid is vacuuming in the background. He's like, well, this was useless. And he goes to bed. And he has a dream where a dragon comes to him. The patron saint of the Schottenjägers is St. George, who famously killed a dragon. That's St. George's claim to fame. And the dragon says, so you want to be a Schottenjäger? Your body is heavy with sin. I have never seen somebody who is less suited for this.
Yeah.
I will give you a chance for one reason, and that is because in your life, 3 women have loved you truly. And because you were able to earn the love of 3 people, I will give you a chance. They never list the 3 people, but you have to assume it's Grace. His grandmother, and Malia Getty, who is actually the main antagonist against her will.
Yeah.
And then the dragon says, I will burn the sin out of you, and it will hurt because you have so much. And then Gabriel is awash in flame in his dreams, and he wakes up and now he finds the key to the library, and so on and so on. Gabriel never becomes a perfect person.
Well, sure.
But he does become a better person. He tries. And I like that arc.
Yeah. I see it.
But he can't be redeemed if he doesn't start lower down.
True. Yeah. I just never, I am revisiting the whole thing now because I'm like, I never saw it that way. I never realized that it was like, oh yeah, he is supposed to be a dick.
Yep.
And then he becomes less of a dick.
He meets Malia Getty, instantly falls in love, and in the voodoo shop there's a wishing stone. And if you use the wishing stone, his wish is, I wish for Malia Getty to be permanently grafted to my thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I know.
He is a disgusting womanizer. But he gets redeemed. And the mystery, the story, even you liked the story. The story is very good.
It is a good game. It is a very good game.
I like that you're coming around on it.
I am coming around on it. Still some like racist adjacent things.
Some of it's a product of its age.
It is a product of its age. It's one of those things. It's where, if I had played it back in the day, I probably would be more forgiving of the problematic parts of it.
Sure.
Just like I am with, anything Seinfeld, the TV show.
The music in this game is also very good. It is deeply atmospheric. The main theme is there's like a gothic quality to some of the music, but it also has the flavor of New Orleans and jazz because that's where it's based. There is a tone of adventure to some of it. The music is very good. It was composed by Robert Holmes, who I don't believe they were married when they started the first game, but Robert Holmes and Jane Jensen are married.
Maybe they're the real life Grace and Gabriel.
My favorite story about Robert Holmes being the composer is in the second game, there's a plot point about finding a lost Wagner opera. And he finds this you find the opera, and you have to perform the opera as part of this taking care of the werewolf. We're not talking about the second game. I'm not going to give you all the details. I'm not. This will take forever if I do that. I want to, but I won't. And so famously, she walked into her husband's office one day and just went, "Honey, can you write me a Wagner opera?" Okay. He did a decent job.
And he said, "Only if you graft my thighs."
Permanently graft yourself to my thighs.
Yeah.
The second game is a full motion video game, so it is different. It is actual actors. Dean Erickson plays Gabriel Knight. Looks fantastic, sounds fantastic doing it. Honestly, sounds better than Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Because Tim Curry's accent is absurd. It is widely considered to be the best FMV adventure game. But like I told Russ off camera, that's a low bar. It's a low bar. There are not very many good FMV adventure games, but Gabriel Knight, The Beast Within, is definitely one of them. Then the third game is a full 3D game. You have access to the camera. You can move it around rooms and follow. There's one puzzle where all you have to do is like move the camera to look underneath the desk of the guy you're investigating to find a hidden button. So I don't recommend playing the third game, though. The story is as excellent as the other three. It has one of the worst puzzles in adventure game history. Russ, would you like to know what that puzzle is?
Yes, absolutely.
You need to get... You're in
Do you
France.
have to graft yourself permanently to someone's thighs?
No, you got to graft something to your face.
Fair.
You're in France, a small town in the middle of nowhere, France, and you need to get some transportation around town. There's a tour group in town. Your buddy, Detective Mosley, is in the tour group. And they have first dibs on all the little Vespas and vehicles to rent in town. So you go to get a vehicle, to get a little scooter to put around town, and you see that they have exactly one awesome bitchin' motorcycle. And so Gabriel's like, "I want that." And the shopkeeper's like, "Nope, that one's spoken for by a member of the tour, somebody named Mosley." And Gabriel goes, "Well, I'm not getting one of those dinky little scooters. I'm just not." And that's problem one with this puzzle is I'm playing Gabriel. It is not Gabriel's job to make my life harder. Gabriel refuses to do a thing I need him to do, and now I have to solve a puzzle because the character I'm controlling won't do what I tell him to do. Issue one with this whole sequence. So Gabriel now has to impersonate Mosley to get this motorcycle. Fine. You have to lure Mosley around an area with some strategically placed candy and pickpocket his passport from his back pocket while he's eating the candy. It's a frustrating sequence that you have to time correctly. Like any
adult man. Lure them with candy.
Exactly. And the timing on it is a little frustrating. Now, you get his passport. Great. Now you have his ID. You don't look like Mosley. So how are you going to go up and show the shopkeep this is Mosley?
What race is Mosley?
White.
Okay.
But you don't look like this guy, right?
Sure.
Mosley is kind of a dumpy, nothing to write home about guy, and Gabriel is supposed to be very attractive and very desirable. So the solution is, first of all, you get a hat. Fine. You find a hat to cover your head. Great. Whatever. You have to color your hair a little bit because you're blonde and Mosley's not. Fine. Then you draw a mustache on the passport. Mosley does not have a mustache. You draw a mustache on the passport. So now you need to give yourself a mustache that Mosley doesn't have. But you've given it to him.
All intuitive so far.
Oh, you're not ready for the worst part. You want to know how you give yourself a fake mustache? First, you take some honey from the restaurant in the hotel.
Oh, dear.
And you get a spray bottle. And you need a piece of tape. And you go to in town where there's a cat sleeping on top of a brick wall. And you go to the end of that brick wall where there's a hole. And you put the tape on the top of the hole. And you spray the cat with the water so it runs through the hole. And you pick up the tape, which now has cat hair on it. Then you put that cat hair on the honey that you took from the restaurant. And then you slap the honey mustache on your face so that now you have a mustache to match the mustache that Detective Mosley does not have, but that you drew onto his passport so that you can prove to the shopkeeper that you are in fact Mosley and get the motorcycle so that you can actually solve the mystery of the vampires you're there to solve.
That is ridiculous.
Don't play the third game.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Watch a playthrough or something. Sure, I did a playthrough of it. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. The story is excellent. The story is roughly equivalent to the Da Vinci Code, which came out a year later. The two are pretty similar in a lot of beats.
Dean Erickson is pretty cute. He was on Frasier.
Yep. That was his big role, is he was the waiter on Frasier in the first season.
Yeah.
He even had an episode that gave him a couple of lines. He is now an investment planner.
Mm-hmm. He looks good with facial hair.
All of the Gabriel Knight games are based on real-life locations with real historical information that they apply a supernatural twist to. The second game is set in Germany, and Princess and I went to Germany last October, and one of the things we did is went to a lot of the Gabriel Knight locations, including sleeping a night in his family's castle that they used. Nice. Schloss Ritter, which is actually called Burg Rabenstein, which stands for Ravenstone. I reached out to Dean Erickson on Facebook after that to let him know that I had stayed the night in his family castle and asked if I could be a junior Schottenjäger. And he told me I was now more of a Schottenjäger than him because he never actually visited that location because the interior was a different location that they filmed at. Yay
well,
me.
good for you. I mean, that does mean that you now have to protect the world from vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness. So you're basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And I am just as qualified as Gabriel in the first game.
Okay, yeah.
And I will do it just the same way.
At least you don't tell women that you need to be permanently grafted to their loins or whatever.
I then did go on Etsy and find somebody who was handcrafting Schottenjäger talismans that lived in Germany, and I bought one of those for myself. So
Nice.
I have it. I am ready.
Yeah,
Anyway.
They'll come looking for you.
The point is, I love the first game. I love the whole series.
I can tell, yeah. No, it was good. I agree that the story was good. And I've revisited my opinion of Gabriel. And I did enjoy hearing Leah Remini.
She does a good job.
She does a really good job.
She's not faking an accent. Thank God.
She's not, exactly. She is just a Japanese woman with like a Queen's accent or something. Yeah. So, yeah. It was a good experience.
So you would recommend people play it?
I would recommend people play it and go in with the knowledge that, yeah, Gabriel is supposed to be a dick.
It helps.
So
It helps.
Yeah. That's
Zoe
right.
agrees.
Yes,
All
Zoe
right.
agrees.
I've been talking for half an hour about Gabriel Knight, and I think we should go get some food.
But
before we do
amazing.
that, so it's your turn to pick a game.
Yeah.
What am I playing for the first time, Russ?
You, for the first time, are playing, and this, if you get scared, just let me know. Play in a well-lit room, because I am asking you to play Silent Hill 2.
Does it matter that I haven't really played Silent Hill 1?
It absolutely not.
Okay. Then
Silent
I'm
Hill
good.
3 is the sequel to 1.
Okay.
2
good
is
to know.
its own thing.
For this little mini series we do back and forth. I mean, we did Lost Vikings 2 without doing
Right.
this. Like
yeah.
it's fine.
And this is just this is the Silent Hill to play if you're going to play
Do
one.
you care if I play the remake or the original?
I do not. You can play either one.
Which one do you recommend?
Both. The remake.
Okay.
I mean, the remake is the original is like janky and weird, if you want that experience, and then the remake is like a nice, fluid, solid. I say action game. I mean, it's it's a horror game with limited ammo, so you're mostly just trying to conserve your bullets. But yeah, a lot of quality of life improvements in that remake.
So there you go.
So you'll play Silent Hill 2?
Next time you hear us talk about a non-JRPG, well, who knows what we're going to talk about next, but at some point in the future, we will talk about me playing Silent
And
Hill 2
maybe
for
Chris
the
will
first
talk
time.
about the music. Maybe.
You talked about Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because
Chris will be here.
I really enjoy the Silent Hill music.
Yeah, I do too. I got to meet the composer too, so we can talk about that too.
fun.
Cool. So if you want to learn more about Gabriel Knight, youtube.com/Centaur Productions. I have LPs of all 3 games. You can actually just watch through me playing them and commenting on them. I don't talk over the dialogue. I do read the dialogue to you when necessary. Because I hate the narrator in that first game.
That was the thing that I was gonna bring up that I forgot. I had to turn the first thing I did was figure out how to turn that voice off. Leave all the other voices on.
I love that that's a setting.
Yes.
They have a setting for turn off narrator, and then a setting for turn off all other voices. And it's I cannot have that narrator.
No.
They were trying for an old voodoo woman.
Yeah, talk about
narrate.
racist.
It's
probably
bad.
the most racist thing in that game.
It's real bad. No, I can't listen to that narrator. And so I don't.
No, I don't either. Mm-mm.
All right.
Silent Hill doesn't have a narrator, so
Good enough.
yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to me
thank you.
fanboy all over one of my favorite games.
That's gross, but thank you for that visual. So.
I can't help it. It's his hair.
Oh my god.
He has such good hair. You should see his hair.
He
in the
actually does
sequel.
have good hair. Now that I have looked up Dean Erickson,
Maybe I can get you to play the second game in the future.
Second one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and apparently an actual Japanese woman plays Grace Nakamura in the second one.
I will never make you play the third one, but I might make you play the second one at some point. All right. Thank you all for listening.
Ciao.
Later.